Safety is number one, especially your safety. And in today's video, I'm going to get into a few little things that might help you stay a little safer while you're out doing your job, especially if it's a delivery job. If the content on this channel interests you, I invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Right now, go ahead, click. All right, let's jump into today's video. I thought about trying to number these, saying like the top 10 tips of safety, or the top 12, or the top 5, or whatever, but I'm not going to keep track with them. We're just going to say the top tips of a delivery driver's safety and a few driving points. If I was going to number these, my first one would be go by your gut feelings. Sometimes your insides and what you're thinking may be right. Might ought to listen to them. Don't put yourself in a situation where you really don't want to be in. That's number one. But like I said, I'm not going to number these, but that would be number one if I was going to number them. Okay, so my other thing would be one of these devices right here that holds your phone. And not necessarily on this side, but it could be on this side. Somewhere up higher where you don't have to look down. Because if you're looking down, guess where you're not looking? Ahead. If you're looking right here, guess what you can still see? Ahead, the road. Or in this case, a bush. But you get what I'm saying. So I would say that would be a big safety thing right there. Another safety thing is your safety belt. Always be safe. Wear some shades, preferably while waiting on traffic. Another thing I would say was drink plenty of liquid, whether it's Powerade, Gatorade, water, especially if you live in places like Texas where it's like 103 degrees right now. Okay, here we go. Okay, I realized, oh, there you go. I realized this is not going to be an option in some areas, but in the areas that it is an option, do you see anything wrong with what I'm doing right now? I'm not saying it's wrong, but maybe something that I could be doing that would be a little bit safer? No? How about this lane that I'm driving in? Now, I'm not fixing to turn to the right anytime soon. So, you see the difference between that and this? What do you think? Well, as you saw right back there, that pickup started to jump out there. Now, supposing there is somebody backing out of a driveway right here, or somebody's fixing to come off of this side street where this car is turning to the right. What if they're coming out of there and they don't stop quick enough? Or if they don't see you and they start to take off and all of a sudden they see you, but you don't have enough room to move. Now see, I'm fixing to go to the right, so now I'm going to jump back over here. But, and yes, I did look behind me. So don't think about that. I got good mirrors. And then look right there. That's something else that I hadn't really thought about until just then. Be used to the vehicle you're driving. Well, that kind of, my phone camera shut off. I guess it got too hot. Surprise, surprise. But what I was getting at is don't drive in that outside lane because cars can pull out too far. Balls can come flying out of somebody's yard with a little kid chasing it. You know, just too much. That extra second or two will help. I got to run in here to the dollar store right quick, and we'll get back to this. Know your area. If you don't know your area, get to know your area. Find out where places are that are not so safe. And it kind of gives you an idea of how to approach that delivery. And that's where another tip comes in, is carry a flashlight. Don't have to be this big, but something probably a little bigger than your phone flashlight would be nice, especially at apartment complexes. When you have to shine the light around to see what building you're at, just be careful, don't shine it in their bedroom windows. I wouldn't like that, and I don't think you would either. If I knew what they was doing, might not be so bad, but you don't know what they're doing. Car out there driving around, shining their light in your window in the middle of the night, no, that's no good. But carry a flashlight. The main thing is know your area. If you go to the same apartments all the time, you kind of start to get familiar with them. But here in Wichita Falls, we have a lot of different apartment complexes, and gets a little confusing sometimes of which one was which. I mean, as far as location of them. So keep that in mind. Know your area. You can just drive around. Really, the more you work in one area, the more familiar you will get with that area. So just don't get too comfortable with that area, because even though it might be a really nice area, it's a public area. Anybody or anything can come and go. People are the most dangerous. But then you $7 for Jersey Mike's for 9.8 miles. It's less than $1 a mile. So that's a no. But you also have like snakes, skunks, dogs. You just don't know what can be in that area. So always check your surroundings and know your surroundings. Get used to what's there and what's not there. $3 Chick-fil-A, 4.2 miles. I don't know what's up with DoorDash lately, but man, there has been a ton of $3 orders. It's pathetic. We'll take that one. $7.50 for 2 miles. See, they have good orders. It's just you have to cherry pick a little. We got get familiar with the area that you're going to be working in mostly. Know the ins and outs. Find out. This is reality here. Find out who will let you use the restroom and who won't. What restrooms you will use and what restrooms you won't use. Because believe me, there are some out there I will not use, and that's me being a guy. I couldn't imagine being a girl and having to go to some of the bathrooms I've seen. Nope, ain't happening. But there again, be observant. Watch your surroundings. And another thing is, if you are sitting in a parking lot, it's not a bad idea to lock your doors, because you may get involved in watching a YouTube video or reading the news headlines or whatever while you're waiting on a call, and or waiting on an order or a call, whatever the situation is, and somebody could come walking up and you wouldn't even have noticed that. But just, that goes back to what's your area. But lock your car. So, I mean, they can still come up and beat on your window or whatever, but that gives you a little edge over that, so you can always throw it and drive and take off. And another thing, speaking of taking off, I highly recommend backing, if you're parking, just back into the spots so you can go straight out and get out quicker. Because if you pull into those spots, then you're gonna have to back out and then go. To be honest with you, most of the time I parallel park in the spots, but I don't park where anybody else is going to be parking. I park out away from the traffic and parking business. I don't know. Park away from. I was watching a few other videos on safety and stuff like that, and I was really surprised there wasn't a whole lot out there. I realize a bunch of it is common sense, but sometimes we just need little refreshers to make us think about it, because we get a little too relaxed. But what was mentioned on 2 or 3 videos was pepper spray. I hadn't really thought about pepper spray, but you know, you get a vicious animal out there, a dog or whatever, or a person, then you can hopefully resolve the situation. It's better than pew-pew. But really, if you find yourself in a confrontational situation, try to de-escalate the situation. Don't try to be all tough and Billy Bad and whip out the pepper spray and all that right off the bat. Try to be friendly. You know, as strange as it sounds, try to start a different, put a different spin on it. Start a conversation about something else. Don't be stupid about it. I mean, be real. But sometimes people are just in really bad moods and they just need to blow off a little steam. And that happens. So your first defense is your ability to communicate. You want to communicate with the person that is causing the situation. It's a lot better than spraying them with pepper spray before you even get a chance to find out what's going on. So, de-escalation. That is the first step in resolving a situation. If that don't work, if you can't get out of the situation or away from it, yeah, you might resort to pepper spray if need be. Luckily, so far, knock on wood, I have not ran across that situation in this job. Here's one that you should really do before you even start. It's get in the right mindset. If you're in a bad, crabby mood, don't even start it. Just relax, watch a movie. I discussed this one before, but that can put yourself in a dangerous situation, because if you got a crappy attitude and somebody else has a crappy attitude, two crappy attitudes get stinky. But yeah, check yourself. Another thing that is directly in relation to safety, and that is before you leave the house or wherever you're at to get your day started, check your car out. You know, in most cars nowadays, they're good enough that they tell you if your oil's getting low or whatever, but it still doesn't hurt to be a little old school and check your oil. The main thing is check your mirrors, make sure they're in the right position before you get started. Check your tire pressure. And if you don't have a way to check your tire pressure, if you have a discount tire in your area, the majority of them offer free air check. It may take you a few minutes, but it'll sure save some wear on your tires, and it could save a life. Had a sign on the door, or on the gate, that said, "Beware of dog." And the gate was open. So luckily, they had the dog in the house, which was some good people. They were thinking ahead. They were thinking about us delivery folks. See how a lot of these safety things go back to what's your surroundings? There's a lot of things that fall under that category. And I mean, they're everyday things. What's your surroundings when you're driving?
East Freeway,
if you see somebody that keeps tapping their brakes and moving, and you can kind of sometimes see their head looking back and forth, you know they're a little confused on where they're going.
Windthorst Road.
So be ready for them to just make a sudden turn or a sudden stop. Think ahead of it. Think about what they might be fixing to do. Be a what do you call it? A predictor?
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Sunnyside Lane.
Whatever you call it. Predict what they're fixing to do. Don't count on it, but just kind of get it in your head, the possibility of what they're fixing to do. There again, your surroundings, whether you're walking or driving or sitting. Another thing is lock your car. Don't just leave it open and with an easy entrance. You know, there's no telling who could just jump into your car and be sitting in the back seat. You know, you might have seen it on movies and stuff, but the way the things are getting nowadays, it could happen anywhere at any time, night or day. Need to be more precautious at night, but daytime can be just as bad. So don't think you're safe because the sun's shining. Some people don't care. So do you have anything to add that could be beneficial to us all, especially when it comes to safety? If you do, go ahead and drop it down there in the comments and share it with all of us. Because I want to know, and I'd like for everybody else to know, especially when it comes to safety. We got to keep each other safe and healthy out there. Can't do much about the health sometimes, but the safety, sometimes we can help each other out. And that's another thing. Watch each other's back while you're out there. You know, you may not know the people personally, but you kind of get familiar with some of the same people that you see over and over and over. And you know, if somebody approaches them, kind of keep an eye on them. Just for a minute. Could be somebody they know. Could be nothing. But then it could be somebody trying to rob them or whatever. Anyhow, if you have anything to add, I'd really appreciate it if you did. And I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel before you leave. So y'all keep smiling, be happy, keep dashing and dancing and prancing and whatever it is you want to do. Just keep doing it. Keep moving ahead. Don't let people and things get you down. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye for now.